My children, stop everything right now as you listen to these words, because while you hear this message, hundreds of souls are turning away from God, and in a few minutes thousands more will cross a path of no return. But there is an instrument capable of stopping this invisible tragedy, a silent spiritual weapon present in almost every Catholic home, forgotten in drawers, treated as a powerless custom. The Virgin Mary has just revealed a hidden mystery that completely transforms everything you think you know about the Rosary, and the question is simple. Are you willing to persevere to the end, even if it confronts your faith, your routine, and your spiritual life? Beloved children of eternal light, brothers sealed by the blood of Christ, souls marked by the fire of the Holy Spirit, at this precise moment determined by heaven before time even existed, you did not arrive here by coincidence. The invisible hand of God guided your steps. Your soul cried out in the silence. Your heart sought answers. Your spirit sought refuge amidst the chaos, and heaven answered by bringing you precisely to this moment. This is not just another religious video. It is not a comforting message nor beautiful words to soothe the conscience. This is a maximum alert, a sign of spiritual emergency, a definitive call that separates the vigilant from the vigilant. The fervent and lukewarm have fallen asleep. The Blessed Virgin Mary, Mother of God and our Mother, refuge of sinners and help of Christians, has entrusted a revelation that cannot be ignored or delayed. A revelation that bears her name engraved on it since before creation. You who pray the Rosary distractedly, you who hold the beads while your mind wanders, you who have thought it repetitive, empty, or ineffective, this message is for you, because what will be revealed now will break old lies, destroy the enemy's deceptions, and rebuild your relationship with the most powerful spiritual weapon that exists. But honesty is necessary. What you will hear will not be comfortable. It will expose your lukewarmness, your excuses, your spiritual complacency. Many will abandon this message in the next few minutes because the truth demands sacrifice, because the cross weighs heavily, because holiness has a cost. Few will remain until the end, and the question echoes. Will you be like the one who retreated for fear of the price, or like the one who said, "Lord, only you have the words of eternal life. If you stay, if you resist, if you have spiritual hunger, you will receive revelations that change destinies. You will discover the secret of the Rosary, known to few mystics, a secret that multiplies with unimaginable spiritual strength. You will understand why certain words of the Hail Mary make hell tremble and demons flee in terror. You will learn which mystery of the Rosary is saving the most souls at this very time and how to pray it correctly with real power. You will know the most extraordinary promise made by Mary for these end times, a promise reserved only for those who persevere to the end, and you will receive clear and precise instructions to transform the Rosary, which today lies forgotten, into a living weapon capable of protecting your home, your family, and your soul until the last day. And my beloved children, I come to you with a heart enveloped in silence and light, because what I reveal to you today is not a secret hidden by human mystery, but by a lack of depth in vision and constancy in love. Many hold the Rosary in their hands. Many see it as an object of devotion, but few descend to the living root of its power. That is why I tell you, most do not know the true secret of the Rosary, not because it has been denied, but because it has not been lived. The Rosary is not just repetition. It is not just words that follow one another in time. The secret that almost no one understands is that, when prayed with an attentive heart, it transforms the home into a consecrated territory, a space where evil loses strength even before trying to enter. The Rosary creates an invisible fence around the family, not made of fear, but of spiritual order. Where it is lived faithfully, chaos begins to dissipate, even if the world around becomes more confused. My children, few know that the Rosary educates the soul in inner silence. While the hands move, the mind is called to leave its distraction, and the heart learns again to listen. It is at this point that the enemy weakens because he feeds on haste, distraction, and disorder. The Rosary, lived in depth, restores God's rhythm within the home, and this changes everything. Another little understood secret is that the Rosary doesn't only act at the moment it is prayed, continues to act afterward. It shapes decisions, softens words, curbs thoughtless actions, and protects choices that haven't even been made yet. Many expect visible signs, but the Rosary acts first in the invisible, where falls and victories are born. There are homes where peace is asked for, but the ground is not prepared to receive it. The Rosary is that preparation. It teaches perseverance, strengthens fidelity, and it creates spiritual resilience. That is why I tell you, it is not the number of times you pray that reveals its power, but the willingness to allow it to transform you from within. Few also know that when a family takes on the Rosary as a commitment and not as an obligation, a current of protection is generated that reaches generations. Children yet to be born, decisions yet to be made, pains yet to arrive. All this begins to be touched by grace when the Rosary is lived with love and constancy. My children, do not treat the Rosary as a last resort, but as a foundation. It was not given only for easy times, but to sustain faith when everything seems to waver. The true secret is this: the Rosary does not only change circumstances, it changes the heart that faces the circumstances. And a transformed heart never remains a prisoner of evil. The Rosary carries a secret that transcends centuries, a secret that is not in isolated words, but in the spiritual path it builds within the soul and the home. Many know it externally, few allow it to act in depth. That is why so many do not experience its true power. The secret of the Rosary lies in the fact that it reorganizes what the world has disorganized. Even before warding off visible evil, it corrects the inner disarray that opens breaches for evil to enter. Where there is excessive pride, the Rosary teaches humility. Where there is hardness, it softens the heart. Where there is confusion, it restores clarity. But this only happens when one understands that the Rosary is not an isolated act, but a continuous path of transformation. My children, few know that the Rosary works in God's time, not in the time of human anxiety. Plants deep roots, invisible to hasty eyes. While many give up because they don't see immediate results, the Rosary is already acting silently, preparing the downfall of evil that hasn't even manifested itself yet. The enemy fears what grows in silence, because he doesn't know when he will be defeated. Another secret that almost no one perceives is that the Rosary teaches the soul to remain firm when everything around tries to pull it away from God. It creates a rare spiritual constancy in times of distraction. In a world where the mind is fragmented, the Rosary restores unity. Where everything shouts, it teaches us to listen. Where there is an excess of empty words, it leads back to the essential. The home that welcomes the Rosary does not become perfect, but it becomes vigilant. Discussions lose their power, resentments don't take deep root, and the presence of the sacred begins to be felt even in the simple gestures of daily life. Many think that spiritual protection is the absence of problems, but the true sign of protection is the ability to overcome trials without losing faith, without losing love, without losing hope. My children, there is an even deeper secret. The Rosary educates human freedom. It doesn't oblige, it doesn't force, it doesn't impose. It invites, and by accepting this invitation, the soul learns to choose better, to discern with more wisdom, to resist seductions that previously seemed harmless. This is how evil is overcome, not only when it manifests itself, but mainly when it ceases to find space. Few understand that the Rosary protects not only against spiritual attacks, but also against thoughtless decisions, dangerous alliances, paths that slowly lead away from God. It acts like a gentle, constant light, illuminating the path step by step, without blinding, without violating the conscience. There is also a secret that almost no one teaches. The Rosary strengthens those who pray, but sustains even more those who cannot pray. When someone in the home remains faithful, even alone, this faithfulness bears fruit that reaches other family members. Silent graces are poured out where there is resistance, indifference, or weakness. Nothing is lost when it is offered with love. My children, do not think that the Rosary was given only for ancient times. It was entrusted precisely for times like this, when faith is tested, truth is relativized, and homes are constantly attacked by division and forgetfulness of God. The Rosary is not a burden. It is an anchor. It is not a weight, it is a refuge. The great secret that few accept is this: the Rosary demands perseverance, and perseverance demands inner conversion. Many want the fruits without tending to the root. But he who remains, even without feeling, even without understanding everything, begins to perceive profound changes that no human force could produce. Therefore I tell you, my children, do not treat the Rosary as an inherited custom, but as a conscious choice. It was not made to occupy space, but to occupy the center. Where it finds a place, fear loses its dominion, evil loses ground, and faith breathes again. My beloved children, have faith. Not a superficial faith, sustained only when everything is going well, but a firm, rooted faith, capable of standing when the world around begins to crumble. I tell you with tenderness and truth, humanity is dangerously walking towards a deep abyss, where destruction and evil no longer hide, no longer feel ashamed, no longer ask permission to enter hearts and homes. I see, my children, how good has been relativized and evil presented as something common, acceptable, even necessary. I see sleeping consciences, hardened hearts, divided families, and a constant rush that drives the soul away from the silence where God speaks. It is not only the external world that is disorganized, it is the inner world of man that is turning away from the truth. But I do not speak to you to fill you with fear. I speak to awaken you, because in the face of all this you are called to conversion. Not a conversion of words, nor of appearances, but a profound conversion, which begins in the heart and manifests itself in daily choices. To convert is to change direction when one realizes that the path leads to perdition, even if that path is comfortable, popular, or seemingly safe. My children, many expect great signs in the heavens, but they do not perceive the small warnings that God places before you every day. The restlessness you feel, the emptiness that nothing fills, the feeling that something is wrong even when everything seems normal. All these are calls to conversion. God does not shout first, he whispers. Only those who slow down and are willing to listen will hear. The world is heading towards the abyss because it has turned away from the truth, because it has traded light for convenience, because it has placed man in place of God. And when that happens, life loses value, love grows cold, and violence finds room to grow. Do not think that this is distant or that it does not reach you. Everything begins within and spreads outward. Therefore I tell you, convert while there is still time. Convert your thoughts, your words, your attitudes. Convert the way you educate your children, how you treat your family, how you care for your soul. Conversion is not punishment, it is return. It is not loss, it is reunion. It is not humiliation, it is liberation. And my children, true faith will give you discernment so that you are not swept away by the current of this world. It will teach you to say no when everyone says yes, to remain firm when many give up, to choose the light even when darkness seems to dominate. Having faith in these times requires courage, but it is this courage that will keep you standing. Do not wait for the world to change before changing your life. Conversion begins in each one of us. A converted heart sustains a family. A strong family sustains a community. And faithful communities can still prevent evil from advancing with complete freedom. I walk with you, even when you do not perceive me. I do not abandon you, even when you stray. But remember, time is precious, and the choices of today shape the days to come. Turn to God while your heart still feels, while your conscience still calls, while faith can still be rekindled. Have faith, my children, not the faith of fear, but the faith of decision. Because only converted hearts will be able to traverse the times that are approaching without losing the light, without losing hope, and without losing love. I speak to you with the heart of a mother who sees further, not to frighten you, but to prepare you. The world, my children, is rapidly heading towards a deep abyss, not only because of wars and visible destruction, but because of the silent loss of the meaning of life, of truth, and of love. Evil no longer presents itself merely as the opposite of good, but as its substitute, and this confuses many souls. I see weary, empty hearts trying to fill with fleeting things what only God can heal. I see fragmented families, where dialogue has been lost, where forgiveness has been replaced by pride, and where faith has been pushed to the corners of life, as if it were something secondary. This is how the abyss approaches. Not all at once, but step by step, choice after choice, silence after silence. My children, do not think that this abyss is only in the future. It is already opening up in attitudes that despise life, in indifference to the suffering of others, in the normalization of sin, and in the rejection of truth. When man ceases to recognize God as the center, everything becomes disorganized, and violence begins first within the soul, before manifesting itself in the world. Faced with this, you are called to conversion. Not tomorrow, not when it is convenient, not when all is lost, but now. Conversion is an urgent return to what is essential. It is recognizing that many chosen paths do not lead to peace, even if they seem easy. It is having the humility to admit that the heart has strayed and needs to return. To convert, my children, is not only to abandon great errors, but also to renounce the small daily concessions that weaken the soul. Harsh words, constant judgments, lack of forgiveness, negligence of spiritual life, excessive attachment to the world. All this, when not corrected, opens space for darkness to grow. The world is rushing towards the abyss because it has lost the fear of God. Not the fear of terror, but the fear of love, that profound respect that recognizes that without God man is lost. Many no longer know how to discern between what builds up and what destroys. They call freedom that which imprisons. They call progress that which wounds dignity. They call love that which is merely desire. But you, my children, are called to be different. Not to feel superior, but to be light. A small light, however fragile, is enough to break through the darkness of an entire environment. A converted heart sustains other hearts. A faithful soul prevents evil from advancing with such force. Conversion begins in silence, when man allows himself to be confronted by his own conscience. It begins when one decides to change habits, correct paths, restore what has been broken. It begins when one chooses God again, not as an obligation, but as a priority. My children, do not ignore the signs. The increase in hatred, coldness, and spiritual confusion are not isolated events. They are consequences of a profound distancing from the truth. However, there is still time. While the heart feels restlessness, there is still grace. While the soul seeks meaning, there is still hope. Do not wait for the world to become good again to then be faithful. Fidelity is necessary precisely when good becomes rare. Do not expect everyone to do the same. The path of conversion has always been narrow, and few have the courage to walk it consistently. I ask you, turn to God with sincerity. Restore faith within your homes. Relearn to live with simplicity, with charity, with truth. Teach your children not only with words, but with example. A home that chooses faith becomes a refuge amidst chaos. My children, the abyss will not have the last word. But each soul needs to decide which side it wants to remain on. Conversion is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign of lucidity. It is recognizing that only God can sustain man when everything else crumbles. Remain steadfast. Even if the world darkens, do not extinguish the light within you. Even if many give up, do not abandon the path. I accompany you, I support you, and I guide you, but it is necessary that you take the step back. Have faith, my children. A living, concrete faith reflected in your choices. Because only hearts those who are converted will be able to navigate the times ahead without getting lost, without becoming corrupted, and without ceasing to love. I call upon you because I see the weight you carry. I see the silent battles. I see how evil has tried to enter your homes not by force, but by distraction, by weariness, by loss of faith. And in the face of this, my children, I do not ask you for despair. I ask you for trust. The world has become too noisy to hear the voice of God. Darkness does not always arrive with violence. Often it arrives as normality, as something acceptable, as something that seems small. That is why I tell you, in the face of evil, faith cannot be fragile or occasional. It needs to be cultivated, protected, and lived every day. Come to me, because a mother does not abandon her children when night approaches. I lead you not away from reality, but into a protection that the world cannot offer. Many seek security in fleeting things, in human strategies, in empty promises. But there is a protection that springs from above, silent, firm, and constant. the Rosary. Today I reveal to you with love and seriousness the secret of the Rosary that many ignore. It is not only powerful because of the words that compose it, but because of the place it occupies in the life of those who embrace it. The Rosary protects because it restores inner order. Where there is order, evil cannot stand. Where there is constancy, darkness loses ground. My children, the true secret of the Rosary is that it teaches the soul to persevere in God when everything tries to drive it away, to persevere in truth when lies become commonplace, to persevere in faith when discouragement knocks at the door. This perseverance creates an invisible fortress around the home, not made of walls, but of fidelity. Few understand that the Rosary acts before the attack, closes gaps you don't even notice. It strengthens decisions, calms impulses, illuminates choices. Many falls that didn't happen, many conflicts that were avoided, many evils that didn't enter. All this is the fruit of a silent protection that few recognize. The Rosary, my children, doesn't just ward off evil from the outside, but above all from the inside. It corrects thoughts, purifies intentions, and restores to the heart the capacity for discernment. And a discerning heart is not easily deceived. That is why the enemy fears so much a family that perseveres in the Rosary, because there he finds constant resistance. Come to me, for I always lead you to Jesus. The Rosary does not end with me. It leads you to the center, to the love that saves, to the truth that sustains. Where the Rosary is lived with sincerity, Christ returns to occupy the place that belongs to him in the home. And when he is at the center, nothing else governs. My children, do not treat the Rosary as a mechanical habit or as a last resort. It is a path of continuous protection. Even when you feel nothing, even when it seems too simple, it is at work. Grace makes no noise, but transforms profoundly. I ask you, receive this secret with humility. Do not seek sensations, seek fidelity. Do not seek extraordinary signs, seek constancy. This is how protection is established. This is how the home is strengthened. This is how faith matures. Come to me, my children. In times of confusion, be simple. In times of darkness, be faithful. And trust. Where the Rosary is lived with love, evil does not reign. Hope does not die, and protection remains. I see how evil has advanced subtly, silently, penetrating homes not only through visible violence, but through confusion, spiritual coldness, and the loss of the sense of the sacred. Many no longer notice when the light dims because they have become accustomed to the twilight. Come to me, my children, for a mother sees what her children cannot yet fully comprehend. The world promises you security, pleasure, and freedom, but delivers restlessness, emptiness, and division. Souls are weary, burdened, and scattered. And it is in this weariness that evil finds passage. Not because you are weak, but because you have been distracted from that which sustains you. In light of this, I call you to faith. Not a faith for difficult moments only, but a faith that structures life, that guides choices, that shapes the home. Faith is not a refuge to escape reality. It is strength to traverse it without getting lost. Where it weakens, fear grows. Where it is neglected, confusion sets in. That is why today I reveal to you with care and depth the secret of the Rosary as protection. Many know it, few live it. Many hold it in their hands, few allow it to enter their hearts. The secret lies not in something extraordinary in human eyes, but in something profoundly effective in the spiritual world. The Rosary creates constancy where before there was instability. My children, the Rosary protects because it anchors the soul. In a time when everything changes too quickly, it teaches us to persevere in truth when it is ridiculed, to persevere in faith when it is attacked, to persevere in good when evil seems rewarded. This perseverance generates a silent force that sustains the home even in the most difficult days. Few know that the Rosary acts not only against evident attacks, but against that which slowly corrodes spiritual life, combats indifference, coldness, forgetfulness of God, excessive attachment to worldly things. It not only expels the evil that comes from outside, but heals the breaches that have opened up inside over time. The secret of the Rosary, my children, is that it educates the heart to the rhythm of God. While the world demands haste, it teaches patience. While the world feeds pride, it teaches humility. While the world spreads noise, it leads to inner silence. And in that silence, God is heard again. A home that welcomes the Rosary does not become free from problems, but it becomes spiritually awakened. Decisions become more conscious, words less hurtful, attitudes more responsible. Evil finds resistance not because everything is perfect, but because there is spiritual vigilance. And where there is vigilance, the enemy does not easily establish himself. Come to me, for I do not offer you illusions, but a safe path. I do not promise you the absence of crosses, but the strength to carry them without losing faith. The Rosary does not remove all pain, but it prevents pain from destroying the soul. It does not eliminate all struggles, but it prevents them from distancing you from God. My children, many underestimate the power of the simple lived faithfully. The Rosary is simple, and that is why it is despised. But it is precisely in this simplicity that its strength resides. Evil seeks the spectacular, the noise, the excess. God acts in the hidden, in the constant, in the faithful. That is why the Rosary sustains generations, protects homes, and preserves faith even when everything seems to crumble. Few understand that when someone perseveres in the Rosary within a family, that fidelity becomes a source of grace for all. Even those who resist, even those who have strayed, even those who do not understand. Nothing is lost when it is offered with love and constancy. The protection extends beyond what the eyes can see.